Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So this is what we looked like off open on SPY. Going into today, went over in yesterday's video, but the market is neutral because if we flip here on the call side on the 30-minute, you can see this 10 SMA, which is the green line, is below the 50, and that means the bulls don't have the trend. And then when we flip to the opposite side on the put side, same thing, 10 SMA below the 50. We aren't crossed on either side of the premium, so that means we're neutral. And when we're neutral, we look for a cross on either side of the premium on the 0-day charts. And I didn't take a normal cross today. I didn't take a positive cross. I took a negative cross, and I will go over why. So this is what we looked like right off of open on the 0-day charts. We pull up the 5-minute here. You can see what we looked like off of open. So right in this mess, I really wasn't interested in going long because we were at the 30-minute 50 on the call side, which I'll show you in a second. But pretty much 10 SMA went above the 50. As you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, this is not a valid cross because this 50 SMA is sloped down, and then also when we factor in the 30-minute 50, that's also not a valid trade to take. So this little crosshair here meant nothing, but what I was watching for was this chart to go negative. So when we got into this area right on this next candle, I saw, okay, we opened below the 50. The 50 sloped down really hard, and so is the 10 SMA. So I took a low risk entry right here as we popped up into the 50. If we closed above, I would have stopped out for a small loss. And as long as we hold below that 50 SMA, we don't close above it, then I'm good to hold it short. And you can see the move that we got. I mean, look at this. Really nice move off of here. I caught about, like, I think 75, 80 points on NQ. It was a really good entry point. You can see, I mean, this is pretty much no drawdown on the trade whatsoever. I know I entered at, I think 836 was my fill on NQ, and I ended up selling my last remainder of the position at, I believe, 758 was where I sold the last at. So that's a pretty good move, whatever that is in points, like 70, 80 points. So that was a really good move. And when we, again, pull up this 30-minute chart here on the call side, I'll show you that 30-minute 50 where we ended up hitting it. So yeah, right up in here, you can see what happened. The 30-minute 50 ended up marking the top. I didn't enter right at that 50 because it was flat. I mean, it's not sloped down too hard. So I wanted that extra confluence on the 0DT chart. So once that 0DT chart went negative, then that gave me the confirmation to take this trade that we're most likely going to reject that 50 and see it move lower. So that's what I did today when it comes to SPY. Unfortunately, when I did enter this trade, it already dumped like 20 points. So I didn't call this one out of the Discord. I did say I was short. We did pop back up, I believe, like less than 10 points from my fill. So there was an opportunity to get in. You would have just, I mean, had a worse fill by like 8 or like 6 to 8 points, which isn't too bad. So, you know, if you wanted to hop in, you could have hopped in, but it did move pretty quick for my entry when I first got in it. I mean, pretty much as soon as I entered, a few seconds later, the candle ended up flipping red, and we were down like 20 points. So, yeah, that's unfortunate on that end for that trade, but we did call something out today in the Discord, and we caught an absolute heater on individual stocks. So, I'm going to go over that in a second, but rest of the day, this is what we ended up looking like. You could see range bound on the 30-minute on the call side. I mean, that's what we expect when we're neutral. I mean, this is why the system's great. We know when to keep our foot on the pedal and when to kind of back off. Like today, caught like 70, 80 points. You know, it was a really good trade. I wasn't sized super heavy, but it was more sized than I would say yesterday because we did have the 30-minute confluence with the 5-minute confluence. So ended up, you know, sizing a little bit on it. Because again, the risk was also really low because of where my entry was. I mean, it was very small entry from like the 50 SMA of like the distance from it, so it was a really good opportunity to throw a little bit more size on. Nothing too crazy, not my full size in a trading market, but again, we caught a good move today. So like I said, we were you know, ranging rest of the day. It really was nothing going on. When we pull up the 5-minute on both sides, you can see what happened. You know, we ended up dumping on the call side. This ended up getting a little cross into close, but too late in the day to be taking a trade like this. I mean, there's no, like, once we get to this part of the day, I mean, what time is that? 2 o'clock, 2:30. The 50 ended up turning up probably at this point. I mean, that's 2:40, right? 2:40. Or no, it's actually 3:40. No, yeah, 2:40. I mean, this wouldn't be a trade I want to take anyways because, again, we're near that 30-minute 50, and that's not something I wanted to take an entry from. This late in the day after, you know, catching a really good move, I mean, you know, that's not something I wanted to take. And then when we flip to the put side of things, you can see this is actually where I ended up selling all my position at right here. As soon as we popped up into this 50 SMA, that's where I sold it all at. Why? because this is a major pivot intraday. This is your intraday resistance here on the 5 minute. So, you know, I would need this chart to cross for it to see some more downside, and this is why I ended up selling my whole position here, because that's our intraday resistance. If it wants to break lower and dump more, then this chart has to cross first. So that's why I sold it all here. You know, I could just sell it all here. If it wants to continue lower, I'll re-enter on the short side, but we never got that, so never got a re-entry to go short, and that's pretty much how the day went when it comes to SPY. Now, when we flip to some individual stocks, this was the banger. Hood. This is an absolute heater of a move we got today, man. This is such a good move. So I actually had the wrong contracts pulled up, but still, either way, either contract, really good trade. So we got the 120s right here, because I thought we ended up opening up at like 117 or 115. I forgot what it was on Monday, but I had my cursor like on TradingView over the wrong day, so I had the 120s initially when I called this out. You could see I bought right at the 50. So this was I gave the dead bottom today in the Discord on Hood. Like no drawdown whatsoever from the entry point. I entered right as we hit that 50 SMA, and I mean, look at the move. We caught over 160% on the 118 calls is the ones that I took. Over 160% on this move. I told Discord I was not looking to sell anything less than 50%. I ended up taking a trim at what was it, 60%. That's where I sold half at, and then once I got up to 120%, I took more off, because I was planning on swinging this into the next day because the chart looked really good. But I mean, at that point, being up 120%, I'm taking some more off the table because I wasn't expecting it to rip that hard so fast. So I'm going to show you guys the screenshot of when I called this out in the Discord, just so you can see what the chart looked like. It was pretty simple, though. We were just sitting right at the 50 SMA. You can see this is where we got an entry point. So if we swing this chart over, this is what it looked like when I entered. 11:17. I think I called out maybe 1 minute later. When did I call this out? Hood. 11:18. So 1 minute later is when I called it out and got in this. And yeah, we got the 118 call at, I think, right around like 128, 130 fill. So yeah, I mean, that was the picture beforehand. There's the move afterhand. I have some small runners going into tomorrow, and I'm going to be closing that out tomorrow. But that's a really good trade. 160%. I do have another swing that's still in progress. Probably going to be a loser of who knows how much percent, maybe like 50, 60%, really depends. But this is why I hold the runners, man. I didn't sell a majority until 60%, and then I still had half going at 120%. So this makes up for this loss, or not this loss on Hood, but my loss that may potentially come. We'll have to see how it goes out. But yeah, even though if I do take a 50-60% loss on my other trade, this makes up for that entire loss, and then probably for another entire trade, because we caught 120%. That's where I sold the other like a good chunk at there. And then, like I said, I have small runners going into tomorrow. But this is such a good trade. You could see here, if we flip to the 1 hour now, crossing 2 hour, or my bad, 2 hour chart crossing. We do have the 4 hour chart, which is sitting around the 50 SMA on the 4 hour. So tomorrow, if we could pop up in there, that's where I'm going to be selling it at. But yeah, I mean, this was the wrong contract, like I said. So I kind of got lucky, but at the same time, when we flipped to the 115s, which is actually the correct contract that we had to watch, it came pretty close to the 50 anyways. I mean, you know, it's the same concept, just buying the 50 dip. Didn't hit it exactly, so you know, maybe I would have got the entry, maybe I would have, but I mean, it's only like 10%-20% difference from where you know, we ended up bouncing from in our entry and where the 50 was. So yeah, that's what we took on Hood. Like I said, I got another swing loading. Another one that I shared, which I didn't take because I already had 2 positions going, was Coin. I mean, look at this chart. This looks really good. 10 SMA crossed the 50 and ended up ripping. I'll show you guys when I share this in the Discord of when I said, you know, it looks really good. Could take an entry on it, but I didn't, like I said, because of, I mean, I already have 2 positions going. So yeah, right here you can see 10 across the 50 at 11:20. 50's flattening out right there, curling up a little bit, and bang, contracts hit. What is this? $16 a piece into the close. From, what was this? Like $9 or like less than, yeah, $9 around. So almost 100% on the premium. These were already quite in the money by like $5. So the actual contracts you were trading were probably up well over 100% at that point if you took some out the money ones. So Yeah, I mean, this is just a cross, man. All we're doing is playing the 10 crossing the 50. We're either buying, 50 dips or buying negative crosses. It's all very simple to understand, and you just got to be looking for the A+ setups and not get chopped up when the market isn't moving. So that's why today I ended up navigating towards some individual stocks, because I saw, okay, we're still in a neutral market. I did catch a really good trade on the short side, but I know we're neutral. SPY's not going to be doing much, so I know that SPY isn't the pair to really be trading right now because the 30-minute isn't crossed. So I go to some individual stocks, wait for the trend to get flipped. Like on Coin, could have caught, and then on Hood was already crossed bullish, and I just bought the dip on the 30-minute. That's what you do when we're in a trend on whatever stock. If we get dips to the 50 SMA, you buy them as long as the 50 is sloped up, preferably, or flat. I tend to buy the dips when the 50 is crawling up. It's just more of a support on the contract. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we did. It was a really good day. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. It's where I posted these trades and where I'm at every day if you want to see the trades live throughout the day. But yeah, I'm out. Peace.